Tails it is. Justin, you get to go first. 3-minute opening statement. Whenever you're ready.
All right. I want to start off by thanking everybody for coming out tonight. Thanking the Chamber for hosting this event. I know it took quite a few hours and phone calls to make tonight happen, so thank you guys. Growing up in Water County, was born and raised here, 6th generation. So I see a lot of new faces, see a lot of old faces in the audience. Raising my family here, married for 5 years. My wife, Ashley, got 2 kids, 2 little girls actually. I'm the oldest of 5 boys. I've got 2 little girls. I learned a lot about little girls, by the way. One's 3 and the other just turned a year. Graduated from Texas A&M. I went to Katy High School. I'm a licensed professional auctioneer. Many of you might recognize me from your local church auction. I've done, I believe, the Catholic Church, the Lutheran Church, the Methodist Church in Patterson, as well as Brookshire. Also very involved with the Royal FFA. A lot of great things going on in this community, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I went to 4-H right there in Patterson, learned parliamentary procedure when I was a member of the Royal 4-H. I think Megan, you were actually in 4-H with me way back in the day when we turned 8 years old. Got a lot of roots here. And that's really why I'm running for county commissioner, because I want to make sure that this county stays a great place to raise your family, to live. That the opportunities that have been given to me here are available for my little girls. But we have a lot of work to do. I don't think it's any surprise if you just go down I-10 to see all the houses that are coming. And growing up, I always heard, Houston's coming, Houston's coming. We can't say Houston's coming anymore. It's here. It is absolutely here. Look at Willow Creek Farms, a great neighborhood. They can't build houses in there fast enough. Rise Development just purchased over 1,000 acres. There's supposed to be 2,000 new homes going in just northwest of Old Town Katy. They're here. We have to get ready for them. We have to make sure that our infrastructure is ready, that we plan for the new people, and welcome them with open arms. We want to make sure that Waller County is an attractive place for new businesses, to build our tax base, positive growth, to help our school districts and our communities. So I'm Justin Beckendorff, and I would appreciate your support and your vote for county commissioner. Thank you.
I too would like to thank the Chamber for having us out, and really thank you guys for coming. I've been to several of these forums, and this is the best attended that I've seen. And it is an important race, and it's important to be informed about who the candidates are. So I'm not a native from Waller County. I moved here about 20 years ago to raise my family here. I'm married to my wife, Catherine. We've been married for 30 years. And that's not because of me. She's put up with everything. I can attest to that. I'm a county commissioner. But I've done a lot of work in the county since we've been here. I've tried to raise my family in a way to participate in public service. So like many of you, we fought the Trans-Texas Corridor together. We fought the giant power lines and opposed the water well situation. And I want to continue to do that. I think all of the candidates that are running want the best thing for the county. Nobody wants the county to degrade or be worse, and I think they're all genuinely want that to be the case. My background is, I went to the University of Texas. I got a couple of degrees there, one in philosophy and one in electrical engineering. And I spent my career with Hewlett-Packard. I was with Hewlett-Packard for 25 years and retired from Hewlett-Packard in 2005. And it's my experience that I'd like to bring to the county. I think, Stanley talked about some of the projects that are going on, the engineering work that's being done. So I have a background in engineering, and I think it's important to be able to communicate with the engineering firms and make sure we're getting the best thing that we can. I spent some time with Vince Yoakum looking at the the spreadsheet that he does on, for the tax abatements, and I was concerned that we were spending so much money on economic development, but it looked like we were just developing the people that came to us. But when Ben showed me the spreadsheets, it's like, well, this is really good work, and it needs to be done. I think we could do a lot more in that area, and those spreadsheets need to be tuned up. I mean, they need to have a little bit higher priority weightings on the environmental impacts of different things. The bulk of the budget's spent on road and bridge. And one of the pleasures we have in Waller County is no traffic jams. And it's great to have. We got to continue to plan that infrastructure, and planning is not just saying you got a plan. I mean, there's things being worked on already with roads and emergency management, etc. We need much broader planning, but there's specific things that need to happen in the plan, the things that are measurable.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay.
Okay, now we move to the Q&A portion of the program. And again, let me just stress that the objective here is to ask questions directed at both candidates. Try not to direct your questions to one specific candidate. It's hard for us to split time evenly. Anybody have a question?
Just state your name.
Tom Richter. Single Ranch saw a whole lot of growth out there. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with that. New communities went in there. If you're over there at 8 o'clock in the morning and you're trying to get out of one of those neighborhoods, it's almost impossible. We're going to see similar growth like that out here in Waller County over the next 10 years. What are we going to do to make sure that that kind of thing doesn't happen over here?
Justin, you led, so Larry, go ahead.
Okay. So that's really important, and I think we definitely need to plan ahead, and studies are done to figure out how many cars are going to be on the roads every day. Part of what the engineers do is look at the volume of traffic, measure the volume of traffic in different places. I think we've got to set up some ordinances that require, if the subdivision gets a certain size, that you've got an artery that can support that growth. Part of what happens when you get in those traffic jams is nobody, they let the subdivision come in, but there never was a plan for an artery in and out of there. So even like Justin said, in Willow Creek Farms, they got a good neighborhood. There's one road in and out of that thing now. If the pasture next door gets the same exact thing, and you're going to rely on that one road, then yeah, we're going to get into a problem. So there needs to be planning done, and the people that are doing subdivision development need to know that part of their job is going to be to provide enough infrastructure so that when we do grow, we can still have that good traffic flow that we're all enjoying today.
Thank you, Larry. Justin?
You must be referring to Grand Parkway, Mason Road, and Fry Road, and possibly Greenbush evermore in my opinion. I know it well. Yeah, we don't want that here. And that's why we need to look at our mobility plan and make sure that we keep updating it as we grow. You can have the best plan today, but as the growth comes, we need to make sure that we're constantly updating that to make sure there's no changes that need to be done. 36A, the Prairie Parkway, Cane Island Parkway. Those are new roads that are on the map and need to be looked at. Most people in this county, there's two roads that they look to go to, 290 and I-10. We need to make sure that we have multiple access to both routes. So it's not all bottlenecked into one road. Obviously 359 and 362 are not going to be the best route for the entire county to try and get to 290, especially with several of the curves up there. So we need to make sure that we look at options today so we don't have that traffic jam tomorrow. Another thing I'd like to do is create a business-friendly environment so we don't all have to try and get on I-10 and drive into downtown Houston to find a good job. How about we have good businesses that want to set up shop here in Waller County, so instead of driving an hour and a half in traffic into Houston, we've got a good job right here 5-10 minutes from our house. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your question.
All right, thank you, Justin. Other question?
I have one. Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm in a business that deals with what's called a municipal utility district. As county commissioner, what are your thoughts about municipal utility districts in your precinct?
That's something I'm going to need to look into more. Honestly, in Willow Creek Farms, I know that that was an issue that I talked to a lot of residents about, and I think there can be a case made for on both sides of the argument. And to be honest, I'd want to talk to more of the citizens and the people of Precinct 4 and get more information before I honestly give you an answer, because I don't want to answer it without having more information.
So I think municipal utility districts are important. The county can't afford to build the infrastructure that's required for the subdivisions going in, and we certainly don't want to have the taxpayer put all that together. So, water, roads, sewer, all those kind of infrastructures. And back to his question, it's important for me that the MUD be able to provide enough infrastructure so we don't get into the situation where, the county's now on the hook to fix a road or do something because, we overwhelmed a major artery. So I'm totally supportive of MUD districts, and I would think they're a requirement to be able to grow the county, especially in the urban spaces. But I think it's going to be incumbent on county government to make sure that those subdivisions meet sort of our minimum standards of the quality of life that we're all enjoying here today.
Thank you, Larry. Yeah, we have a question over here, Bill.
I'm Cassie Richter, and I have kind of a two-part question, if that's okay. Two totally different subjects, but number one, the emergency medical services. As a nurse, I live in Waller County, and a couple of times I know that our subdivision shares duties, whatever, with Katy, the city of Katy, and ambulance services and fire, etc. And there's been twice that it was a nightmare whenever there were emergency medical services needed in that area, and where seconds really could have counted. And I just wondered if there's going to be, within the infrastructure planning, what is the plan? And is that kept in mind about emergency response and the ambulance and the fire? And sometimes those things don't seem important until something happens, but seconds can count. And as we grow, it's going to be more and more important to have those things in place as well. The second thing, I got something in the mail this week about my water being toxic or going to be toxic or something. I'm kind of worried about that. So I wonder if those of us on well septic, will we have poison water, and what will we all do to protect us from that?
So, I'll try to be quick, it's just with two questions, but I think the environmental issue is a pet subject of mine. And part of the reason that I've been active in the county is to protect the county from, environmental intrusion. County government can't prohibit just anything willy-nilly, but I think it's incumbent on us to maintain an environment that is healthy and safe for people to live in. In terms of emergency management, I couldn't agree more. My two children that are sitting here were both born out on the prairie, and I was really concerned about what am I going to do if there was an emergency situation there. And as the county grows, we got more and more of a need for emergency services. We're lucky enough to have a lot of hospitals moving out a lot closer to us now, but it's important that we, from a planning perspective, have money before as the county grows, the tax base goes up, but those services are going to be required before we actually get the income. So we're going to have to plan ahead of that so that we don't have a catastrophic event here. And God forbid, lose life or just have, emergency conditions that we can't manage. So it's definitely something that we need to pay attention to.
You can't put a price on a life, and you're right, seconds do count in situations. I know they're working, and hopefully very soon we'll have another fire department right there at Peterson Road, next to Willow Creek Farms, which would be right across I-10 from you and Remington Trails. It's very important to make sure that we have those services. God forbid if any of us ever need them. Because yes, if your house is on fire, you want everybody there as soon as possible. Also, your homeowner's insurance. If you have a fire department within so many miles of your house, you will see a difference in your homeowner's insurance. And so I think, yes, we need to have a plan to make sure that we have adequate coverage of emergency services. Again, God forbid if we ever need them. So I think that's very important, especially with all the growth that we're seeing. Patterson is a volunteer fire department. I do a lot of their auctions, and it's a great group of men and women. But we cannot overextend them. They can't be everywhere all the time, and Katie as well. So we need to make sure that we have, again, that goes back to infrastructure, making sure that we cover all of our citizens for all of their needs. As far as your well water, I didn't get that mailer, so I'd love to see it. But your well water.
I'll show you one. I got one.
You got one?
I did.
I need to follow play with my mail later. That's news to me. I don't know who's poisoning your well water. I would be willing to bet that's probably some politics at its best, trying to scare you into thinking that something's going on that's not. I've told a lot of people I think I would be a great county commissioner, but I'm going to be a horrible politician because I'm not going to try and scare you into believing something that's not true. So I would be willing to guess that that's pure politics and someone trying to scare you.
Thank you, Joseph. Other questions?
Candidates, tell us about what kind of community organizations you belong to, leadership positions held, and experience in that regard, please.
As a member of the KDFFA, won the American Farmer Degree, which is the highest award you can get as a FFA member. I've worked with, again, the Methodist Church in Patterson for many years, the Catholic Church, the Lutheran Church in Patterson, as long as in Brooklyn. I've been involved in the community my whole life. And I wasn't involved in this community because I had a big political aspirations in mind to think that I have to do this now to get elected at a later date. I did it because I love this community, because I want to make this a better place, just like many of you that volunteer your time do in your churches and your organizations. And regardless of if I'm county commissioner this time next year or not, I will still be involved in this community because I love this community. And I've spent a lot of time, and my family has. And that's something I'm very proud of. And that's what it's all about. Us as a community coming together for the greater good. It's not just about me or Larry or any one of you. It's about making this a great place to live for today, but also for our kids and grandkids.
Thanks for the question. I'm on the board of the Citizens for Better Waller County, like some other people have been, Trey and Rosemary, and I've worked actively on that board to fight the power line issue and the Trans-Texas Corridor issue and et cetera, the water wells. I've been really active in the Republican Party. I've been a precinct chair most of the time that I've been here. I'm on the board of the Soil and Water Conservation Board. I'm an active member in the church, but so I've been an activist in all those different areas, and because I care and want the best possible county that we can have.
Other questions?
Harold, I'm gonna do the same question that I did for the judges. I mean, who's gonna be here full-time, who's gonna be here part-time, working to change it? Or not to change, but to make it better.
So I'll say, like Stanley said, I'm going to be here when you need me. It's a 24/7 job. I'll still continue to consult for some of the supercomputers with the oil companies in town, but my cell phone will be on all the time. I'll be available 24/7 whenever anybody needs me.
I will be full-time. I'm currently the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for a company in Houston, and I have already let them know that if I do win the primary election, that I will be resigning in just before 2015. I will be your commissioner when you need me. I will be your commissioner when you don't need me. I will be there full-time. You will get 100% of my time. The way I look at this position is both of us are up here for a job interview. We're asking you to hire us to do the work of Precinct 4 in Water County. And I'm standing here today before you, and you have my full commitment of being a 100% full-time county commissioner.
Any other questions? I see a hand over here. There you go.
We'll take this as our last question. Is that okay?
Last question, that's fine.
Last question.
Tell us how you might improve technology throughout the county.
Justin, you did that.
Perfect. Yeah, I think one thing that I've really learned as far as being able to walk door to door the last few weeks, and Larry has too, and it's been a great pleasure to meet so many new people in this county. Sorry, Larry, I'm the youngest guy here, so I didn't know if anybody was confused about that, but I am a little bit younger, I'm 33. But I don't look at that as a bad thing. I look at that as a good thing. There's so many new people moving to this county. And I was really surprised how many people that have lived here for a few months or even a few years really don't know what's going on with county government. And we need to change that. It's not the same environment, it's not the same world that it was for my dad and my grandfather. A lot of people my age don't take the newspaper. They don't, it's a fact. I mean, they don't, it's Facebook and iPhones, it's an iPhone world. So we need to figure out a way to communicate with our local residents on what's going on. Whether it's something as simple as the county commissioner's court decided we need to place a burn ban in effect. Or something as major as, hey, there's water wells possibly going into the south end of the county. I was really surprised how many people in Precinct 4 did not know about the water well. Didn't even know that there was a landfill issue going on. We have to work better to get the information to our residents. If not, how are they supposed to get involved? And so I think that's something I really want to work on is the county through our website and looking at other avenues to get more people involved, because there's how many thousands of registered voters in Precinct 4? And you folks were the only ones that came tonight, which I appreciate that greatly. But how many other people are out there that could possibly, we'd love to have their input and their questions. So I think that's one thing I really want to work as far as the IT department is working on making that a resource to get more people involved, and at least let them know what we're doing, so they can have a say-so.
Justin? Larry?
So first, I want to give a lot of credit to Stan. There's been he's done a ton of work with the county in terms of improving the technology infrastructure. And I talked to him last night about the new phone system they got coming, which was desperately needed. And and it needs to be kept up to date. And he, you know, as they do that, they manage to save the county hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'll say, you know, so that, but with all that said, we're still woefully behind. I mean, we've got a long way to go. And I've got a wealth of experience in that space. And part of what you got to do is, you know, standardize the equipment so that it all looks the same. I think we've done a good job in hiring an outside individual as opposed to having on-staff people to do it. You know, it costs way too much to have people on staff to do full-time IT work. You know, we're nowhere near the need for that. And so to make it easier on them to basically support it, you standardize the model, but all that equipment has to be kept up to date. There's all kinds of formula for how you manage that infrastructure and what the cost models ought to be. There's lots of room for improvement in that space. We spend a whole lot of money. We kind of outsource the bulk of the business computing completely, not just the not only the software but the hardware as well. We could possibly save the county a lot of money by bringing at least the hardware portion of that back into the county, and but you know that has to be evaluated. But we're still there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and you know to facilitate communication. So open things up to people. Let people, you know, the website doesn't get kept up to date very well, and it's not very friendly. There's way more things we could automate in the county, especially for the people in the south end. You know, if we want to get something done, we've got to drive to Hempstead to do it. There's plenty of room for improvement in that space, and that's pretty much what I spent a career doing.
Thank you, Larry. So this concludes the Q&A portion of this session. We will now move to the 2-minute closing remarks by each candidate. Justin, you led opening, so Larry, 2 minutes.
Okay, thanks again for coming out. I'm really glad to see everybody here, and I'd really like your support to be your next county commissioner. I'm a social and fiscal conservative, and I really, I'm a low-tax guy. Now, with that said, there's plenty of work to be done in the county, and it costs a lot of money, and there's lots of room for improvement in the roads, in the computing infrastructure, et cetera, never mind, all the capital improvements that need to be made with maintenance on the building. So everybody knows kind of what's coming, and we've managed to stave all that off. Nothing's fallen down, and, we've patched the roof leaks, but it's time for the county to start creating a capital budget and putting money aside for a rainy day like the state of Texas did, to put money aside for capital improvements that we know we're going to have, and and also to do a better job, I think, on the abatement space. Okay, so we're doing a fairly decent job there, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement in terms of how we give abatements. A lot of people want to be in this county. We don't have to just give it away to get them here. And the way we evaluate it today is, does it look like it's in the county's best interest, yes or no? And and of course they're voting in our favor, and they're doing a good job of that. But we could get a little more, or we could negotiate that, I think, a little bit better, and we could definitely tweak the stuff that Vince Yoakum's doing. So anyway, I'm Larry Jones for Waller County Commissioner Precinct 4, and I really appreciate your support and your vote.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. This is, like Trey said, an important part of the process. Again, the family's been here a long time, and there's a reason there's been 6 generations of my family here. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise your family, and for the future generation. I heard, and not in our race, but I've heard several people say, well, it's time to get rid of the old families. Why? The old families are the ones that work to make Waller County one of the fastest growing areas in the country. Why would you want to discredit the old families that have done so much? Yeah, we want to welcome the new ones, but we want to maintain that heritage. Everybody loves our peace and quiet out here in Waller County, and we need to fight to maintain that. But the growth is here. So we need to find that good balance to hold on to our heritage and that sense of community with the old families and welcome the new families with open arms. You know, we say we all want to work together. Well, we can't alienate the old families and just pander to the new ones or vice versa. We're all in this together. This is a place that we want the next generation and the generation after that to be proud of. And that's what I want to do, with your help. I don't want to do it by myself. That's not why I'm here. I want to work with you and get your input on what you think is the best steps for this county, to where it's a place that you can call home for a long time, and your kids and grandkids. Again, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Thank you, Larry, for the respectful campaign. I do appreciate it. I'm Justin Beckendorff, running for County Commissioner, Precinct 4, and I would appreciate your support and your vote. Thank you.
Remarks. I just want to say real quick, thank you to the candidates, of course. Thank you guys, folks, for showing up. Thanks to the chamber. We have to be out here at 8 p.m. And it's our responsibility to clean up this auditorium. So before you get up, if you can look around, pick up your plastic water bottles or whatever, that would help tremendously.
Well, before you leave, I would like to introduce Cecil Bell, our state representative. He's here to see us tonight. Appreciate you being here. He's been a great supporter of this chamber and this county, and I appreciate him being here. Appreciate all the candidates and the great forum that we had tonight. Especially appreciate Jason and his hard work and the committee to put this together. You'll have a great night and be safe going home. Thank you.